began for me at 15 with my first song. There was something about the process of writing a song. It was like my subconscious was spitting stuff up into my consciousness, and it was a drug. And I was at it until the song was finished. It was such a gobsmacking experience, sensation I'd never really experienced before. You know, you pour your heart out into this song, and you know, your first songs, the lyrics are really pretty primitive, but it's you. It's kind of raw you, and then you start to, you know, learn to get a little more metaphorical and not make it sound so raw. But that's where it began for me, and I've been going back to that well now for nearly 50 years of songwriting. Music, it's brought me a lot of adventures. I've crossed Canada, coast to coast, I don't know how many times. I played every little whistle stop in Canada. Back in the days when I was crossing Canada with 2 trucks on the road, if you had an open Wednesday night and you were in Moose Part, Saskatchewan at some rinky-dink hole in the wall, well, that paid the gas for the day, so you stopped and you did that gig. I've done gigs in Germany, going down the Rhine in the dining car with the band, thinking, wow, this beats pulling into Regina in a van. Great Britain, I did some promo tours in Britain, played New York City for the first time this year. Some of the Boomers dates took us to the Troubadour in LA, Sacramento, big open air show there, Florida, Phoenix, and touring in the 70s, my God, we were all over the US. It's been a real sort of geographical experience that way. But also music has brought me some other adventures. Film scores have taken me to Prague, where I recorded orchestral music for a film I was doing at the time. So there's been those sorts of experiences, and flying down to LA to mix movies or to master albums, and flying to New York to master albums. So it's really been a wonderful adventure in terms of some of the people I've met, some of the people I've toured with, and bands as well, musicians and friends. When you're on the road, there's a real sense of family that occurs.
It's been 23 years since Ian's last solo record, and he hasn't been out of the business. He's been busy with a lot of other projects, including writing books. In producing this record, Ian comes to the table with the songs just about done, you know. So to give it some life, a little more life, we did this live off the floor. But the musicians we brought in, Kevin Bright, Robbie Botosh, Gary Bright, Norrin Anderson, myself on bass, having somebody else's realization of the song, of the part, is really what makes this special. So in producing this is half of the I won't call it a battle, but it's half of the joy of doing that, is seeing that reaction.
So the songs for Little Dreams, they came from pretty much the same well I always go to. The title track for me was one of the opening doors for it. 'Cause, you know, in some respects, all songs are their little dreams. You know, you drift off and into the great wherever, where all the ideas are. And it's like that old Inuit soapstone carving of releasing the figure that's trapped in the stone, except the stone is your head. This is how the skipping stone has just been landing for me in a couple of spots on things that have occurred in my life and my reference level in the last couple of years.
Working on this album with Ian means a lot to me. It was a real honor to produce this, and it was a real honor to work on his children, which all the songs are. And of course, there's always a few laughs involved. And actually, there's more laughs than serious work, so it's just a real pleasure.
Many years ago, I was cycling with a guy named Jim Ryan, who was in his 70s. Now, I'm not that old yet, but he was the happiest guy I ever met. And I said, Jim, how do you do it? And he said, well, I was the only guy in my entire company to live on D-Day. There were 200 of us. And he takes this picture around wherever he goes of the 200 guys. And every day when he wakes up, he picks a guy and he says, I'm going to live today for you. And I thought, boy, there's the motto for life. You know, you wake up every day, you look at the sun and you go, okay, I'm going to make the most of this. I'm not going to mope around. I'm going to make the most of this and just kind of enjoy every moment I got. And I think that's probably been one of the biggest lessons I've ever had, was listening to that man talk, what motivated him, and how he acted on that motivation to make every day great. So that's my challenge.
Life is good. If there isn't much pain, life is good. Standing in the rain, light's gonna shine through the tiniest crack. When you love somebody and let them love you back, life is good.